the Harare Cannibal. His name was Thandolwenkosi Ndlovu, 20 years old, a man of no fixed address, who slept on the same streets as his victims. To those who knew him, he went by one name, Sauro. He had no home, no family visible to the world, just the city, the darkness, and a hunger that defied all human understanding. In a murderous spree, spanning at least 3 years, across Zimbabwe's two biggest cities, police say Ndlovu would wait for his victims to fall asleep, then crush their heads with stones and boulders. But the killing was not only part of it. He would then open his victims' stomachs using empty broken bottles, removing body parts and genitals. What came next is almost impossible to say aloud. He would build a fire right there in the streets of the city center and cook the flesh. And then he would eat it in the middle of Harare while the city slept. The trail of terror did not begin in Harare. It began 3 years earlier, hundreds of kilometers to the south, in Bulawayo. In January 2020, Ndlovu crushed a victim's head in Bellevue suburb using a brick after finding him drunk and asleep in his yard. In December of that same year, he struck again in Makokoba, another sleeping victim, another stone. Then a third killing at Sekusile shopping center in Kulomane. 3 murders, 3 cities, 3 lives snuffled out like candle flames. And then he disappeared. He fled north to Harare. For nearly 3 years, a trail went cold, but Sauro had not stopped. He had simply moved. On August 28, 2023, at the corner of George Silundika Avenue and Simon Muzenda Street in the heart of Harare, a body was discovered. Then another on September 1st at the corner of Inez Terrace Road and Robert Mugabe Road. A third on September 3rd. A fourth on September 4th. 4 murders in 7 days, each one more brutal than the last. Among the street community, panic spread like wildfire. They had assumed the killer was a ritualist, someone from outside, someone with dark spiritual moves. The idea that the murderer was one of their own, a fellow street kid, was almost impossible to comprehend. When we lost one of us, said Blessing Maungwa, 17 years old, we thought it was a ritualist from somewhere. It was a torrid week. Then came the moment that would crack the case wide open. Reports emerged that Ndlovu had been seen holding a human heart near a building in the Harare Central Business District. Shop owners witnessed it. They would later be called to testify in court. The city was no longer looking for a ghost. It now had a face. On September 4, 2023, police detectives tracked Ndlovu along Rotten Row Road in Harare after he allegedly attempted to attack yet another street kid, a victim who never even filed a report. They moved in. He was surrounded, and just like that, Sauro was off the streets. When arrested, Thandolwenkosi Ndlovu denied that he had cooked and eaten his victims' body parts. But the evidence told a different story. When he appeared in court on September 5, 2023, Ndlovu expressed his intention to plead guilty. He requested a Ndebele-speaking interpreter. The court granted the state's application for further detention. There were identification parades to conduct, weapons to recover, a full picture still to be assembled. Ndlovu would be linked to at least 15 murders across Harare and Bulawayo, making him one of the most prolific killers in Zimbabwe's modern history. Zimbabwe Republic Police stated they found no evidence to link the murders to ritual killings. No cult, no conspiracy, just a young man, barely out of his teens, who had descended into something ancient, terrifying. The why remains unanswered. Perhaps it always will. Panashe Uchenna still sleeps on the streets of Harare. He is still afraid. He says the arrest of Sauro brought relief, but not peace. Because the question that still haunts him and the whole city is not just how Thandolwenkosi Ndlovu did what he did, it's how long he did it without anyone noticing. In a city full of people, the forgotten ones were dying, and the world simply walked past. Thandolwenkosi Ndlovu faces multiple counts of murder. His trial is ongoing.